Thank you, Adam Schiff. Okay, I was totally, as you know, super somber and sad all indictment day. Super, super somber.
Of course you are.
Yeah, super sad. Oh, look, someone's come to the party. Hello! Merry Erasmus Week, Elie Mystal.
Stephanie, I mean, it's like they got this rich white man and they charged him with crimes, and I'm just so happy.
Let me get the tiniest of violins for you. I'm sorry, Elie. I wish I could hold you.
I mean, yeah, okay. I am not somber and sad. Right?
No, neither. F that.
It's the high holy days. Happy Ramadan. Happy Passover. Happy Easter. You know, I'm busy trying to keep, hoping that these eggs make, the religious indoctrination pass over my children. That's my focus. But I am in a great mood. Look, there are some weaknesses with this indictment. There are some legal defenses that Trump has. I'm sure we'll talk about them. Yeah. But the idea that we should be sad that this, career criminal is finally facing the first, hopefully not the last, better not be the last, charges in his entire criminal life, that does not make me sad.
Yeah. Well, and you said that. You said if you think Bragg has a weak case, then Trump should beat it, and that should be your white wing talking point.
Hey,
let the process play out. Our MAGA king will beat the rap. That's the rule of law.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that's how this is supposed to go. You don't have to threaten the prosecutor's wife, okay?
Right.
You don't have to threaten the judge. You don't have to do all of these usual white wing authoritarian MAGA crap. You can just say, there's been a charge. We believe our guy is innocent, and we will see you in court. Trump has legit, and the thing that I don't like about the indictment is that, as opposed to other indictments that I hope are coming, Trump has some legitimate legal defenses here, right? A lot of times when we deal with Trump and the law, what we're talking about is that he'll say something, but it'll be like a wackadoodle crazy person argument that like only Alan Dershowitz and Jonathan Turley are like, yes, sir, can I have another, sir? And by the way, I was never on Epstein's boat, sir. Like it's that only those lawyers will go for it, right? But here, he's got a credible case. I don't know that it's a winning case, but it's credible, right. And he could make that case while upholding and defending the idea that nobody is above the law. But they won't do that. They're acting like merely trying to prosecute him is some kind of miscarriage of justice that allows them to burn the whole thing down. And that's not how it's supposed to work in a nation of laws.
Yeah. Well, you wrote a piece, Trump's indictment is a slap on the wrist, but accountability has to start somewhere. You say this isn't the case of our dreams, but Trump very likely committed these crimes. He should be prosecuted for them, and other prosecutions should follow. And you just said, the spectacle that played out almost entirely behind closed doors, but was still carried on television news like Trump was flying to the moon to be arraigned by xenomorphs. I wondered how long before you got your first nerd reference.
Alien.
Very good.
Yes.
So explain this part to us legally, though, Elie. You said the law does not require Bragg to state why he charged Trump with felonies instead of misdemeanors, so he didn't. But Bragg appended a statement of facts to the indictments that maps out his theory of the larger underlying crimes. Bragg alleges an entire scheme that goes far beyond the hush money payment just to Stormy Daniels. That's the main thing we learned, right? That this is broader than just that.
Well, yes and no, Stephanie. Like, what Bragg has to do is a bank shot. To make it go from a misdemeanor, look, criminal bookkeeping, falsifying business records, this is a ticky-tack charge. I think in my piece I called it's the speeding ticket of financial crimes, right? Like, it's what they get you for when they don't have anything else. Now, usually, falsifying business records is a misdemeanor. To make it a felony, you have to argue that he committed those falsifying of business records to cover up some larger crime. Bragg, in his statement of facts, is alleging that the larger crime is this big conspiracy with him, with David Pecker, with the National Enquirer, the catch and kill stuff, and all of that leads to a campaign finance contribution that Trump didn't want to log as of campaign finance contribution and tax evasion. That's the larger kind of felony crime that Bragg is using to elevate the falsifying of business records from a misdemeanor to a felony.
Yeah.
Now, the problem with that, as people will note, is that Bragg ain't charge him with conspiracy or campaign finance fraud or tax evasion, that's significant, right? Arguably, if Bragg had or felt like he could have sustained a charge on those calls, he would have, but he didn't. You'll also note, and we've talked a lot on this show about why we're in this state, but you'll note that the federal government, the Southern District of New York, the federal prosecutors, Merrick Garland's office, they have not charged Trump with conspiracy or campaign finance fraud or tax evasion. So that means Trump is going to be able to argue in court that you are saying that I covered up this larger felony, but there is no larger felony. And we know there's no larger felony because other, offices have looked into this and determined not to charge me with any larger felonies, right? So, that's an argument. That's a credible legal argument that Trump can make, and we will see what the judge thinks about that and maybe ultimately what a jury thinks about that.
Well, I'm sure you've heard our friend Joy Reid make the point. Why does it fall to these two right now, looks like local black prosecutors? Why does this fall to Alvin Bragg and to Fani Willis? That literally, she said the DOJ is to protect our federal elections. So I think you make that's the point. You've been making for a long time is where is the DOJ? Mm-hmm.
Look, Stephanie, as you well know, Merrick Garland don't take my calls.
That's what I've heard.
I would like Merrick Garland to answer my questions, but he won't return my phone call. Somebody needs to ask Merrick Garland, and hopefully before he writes his book, why his office has not charged Trump with these crimes. We know that the federal investigators in SDNY have the evidence against Donald Trump for these crimes. We know that because, I'm old enough to remember when Michael Cohen went to jail. Right. Federal jail. Yeah. Michael Cohen was not prosecuted by the Manhattan DA's office. Michael Cohen was prosecuted by federal prosecutors in the Southern District of New York. So they have the evidence that what Michael Cohen did and who Michael Cohen says instructed him to do that. Now, Cy Vance is on TV, so the former Manhattan DA, the one before Bragg. Yep. He's been going on TV, and just full disclosure, I don't trust Cy Vance as far as I can throw him, and I don't have the upper body strength that I did in my youth, right? So But Cy Vance is running around saying that he was told directly to stand down by federal prosecutors instead of charging Trump on these crimes earlier, right? So again, why haven't the federal prosecutors, Damian Williams, the current USAO for SDNY, why haven't federal prosecutors charged them? You want to say that under Bill Barr just wouldn't let them? Okay. But then what's Merrick Garland's excuse? Merrick Garland has been in charge since March of 2021. Why weren't there charges waiting for Trump on the Ides of March 2021? And Merrick Garland hasn't answered that question, and I don't think he ever will.